The Liberal Democrats have pledged to spend £440 million a year supporting bereaved families if they win the general election.
The party said it would aim to double the funding designed to help people deal with the financial impact of losing a partner. We're now joined by Deputy Leader of the Liberal Democrats, Daisy Cooper. Morning to you. So first of all, just explain why you've chosen to talk about this policy today.
Well, I think losing a parent or a partner is probably one of the toughest things that anybody will have to go through, particularly if they're a young child. And our party leader, Ed Davey, has himself spoken about his experience when he lost his father at the age of 4 and then lost his mother when he was a teenager. We know from speaking to groups like the Child Bereavement Network that under the Conservatives, the funding has been cut so badly that many families, and particularly young children, don't have the support they need when they become bereaved. And that's why we're making this commitment today of additional investment to effectively double the bereavement budget to support families in their time of need.
So it's estimated that this would cost around an extra £400 million. How are you planning to fund that?
Well, it's part of our fully costed manifesto, and in our manifesto we've set out a number of ways in which we would raise taxes on the big banks, on the big oil and gas companies, the big water companies, to pay for the various pledges that we have, whether that's on the NHS and social care or, for example, on this pledge to extend bereavement payments as well.
You talk about extra taxes on the big banks. Don't we all, though, end up paying when the banks are paying extra taxes, because that trickles down to everybody?
Well, if you look at banks in particular, what you can see is that in the last financial year, the big 4 banks alone raked in £44 billion in profits. And what we're saying is that we should reverse the tax cuts that the Conservatives gave to the big banks, which would raise just £4 billion. So £4 billion in the context of £44 billion being made from just the 4 largest banks, we think is a small amount for the big banks to pay, but ultimately it could be transformational for our public services.
How likely is it, do you think, that you are going to get into government, that you are going to be in government on Friday?
Look, Ed Davey has said that we would be really delighted to become the third party in British politics, but we're also not taking a single vote for granted. Believe it or not, even with just a couple of days to go, there are still people around the country who haven't made up their minds how they're going to vote. And that's why Liberal Democrats are using every minute of every day to talk about our pledges on the NHS and social care, the cost of living and the local environment, so we can win as many votes as possible and elect as many Liberal Democrat MPs as possible this week.
So if you are the third party, why should people use that very precious vote to vote for you?
Because every single vote for a Liberal Democrat is a vote to have a stronger voice in Parliament to campaign for saving our NHS and social care, taking real action on the cost of living and putting an end to raw sewage dumping right around the country, where Liberal Democrats are the key challengers to the Conservatives. People have a choice between the Lib Dems and the Conservatives, and if they vote for the Lib Dems, they'll get a strong local champion and stronger voices in Parliament campaigning on the NHS.
So what does success look like to you?
Well, success is basically more Liberal Democrat MPs. And
How many more?
We're not putting a number on it because we wouldn't take votes for granted in that way. We do just have a few days left, and we're using every opportunity to talk to voters and persuade as many of them as possible to put their trust and support in us on Thursday.
We've seen the campaign that the Liberal Democrats have been running over the last several weeks has been different to other parties. I think that's possibly how I'll phrase it. How is it going for you?
Well, it is going well, to be honest. And I think what we've seen overall is that the stunts that Ed Davey has been taking part in have made people smile. And the raw honesty of speaking about his relationship with his disabled son and his lifetime of experience as a carer has really struck a chord with the millions of people who are caring for their loved ones as family carers, kinship carers, unpaid carers as well. So we've shown people that we can make them laugh, we've shown them that we can make them cry, and I think we've brought a human touch to this campaign at a time when people are really, really struggling.
Are you concerned, though, that perhaps voters won't take you or your leader seriously when we see these stunts? Does that worry you at all?
No, it doesn't, because every time we do one of these stunts, it does make people laugh, but it also, every single stunt comes with a very serious message. So when Ed was on the paddleboard in Lake Windermere, he was talking about the scandal of raw sewage and being pumped into our rivers and streams, and our plan to put an end to that. And when he was at a water park during half term, he was talking about our pledge to put a mental health practitioner into every single primary and secondary school. So every stunt comes with a serious message, and people should be in no doubt that whilst we don't take ourselves very seriously, we do take our politics very seriously.
Daisy Cooper, Deputy Leader of the Liberal Democrats. Thank you.
Thank you.